All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sylvia Hernandez, and I am facilitating this session today. We just wanted to say, first and foremost, welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Illinois students, sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. So again, thank you for joining us. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on the bottom of your screen to type questions to our presenter at any time. Your camera and microphone are off. We are in webinar mode, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. And this is just one of many different sessions that IACAC and StriveScan are doing over the next 5 weeks. So feel free to check out the full schedule at iacac.org. Finally, this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, again, iacac.org. So if you want to share this information with anyone, you can go ahead and do that in the future. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our presenters. So enjoy.
Hi everybody, my name is Jacqueline Lopez. I'm an admissions counselor with NC State University. I'm super excited to be here with all of you today and just share some information about where I represent. So North Carolina State University. I do have a presentation for all of you, so I'm going to do that little awkward switcheroo, just share my screen and present that for you. But I really do appreciate all of y'all being here. And I definitely encourage y'all to ask any questions that y'all have about NC State, about our student life, about the resources and opportunities that we have to offer for students, our academics, or just anything that I can talk to y'all about. And we'll definitely have a live Q&A session towards the end of the presentation. So for now, I do have about a 20-minute presentation for y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and get started so that we have plenty of time for those questions at the end. And as was said, you can use that Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen to ask any questions you may have. And I promise you we'll get to all of them at the end. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and share, and we are going to get started. Soon as I present. All right, y'all. So as I said, I'm representing NC State University, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with the information session that I have for y'all. So the first thing that I like to cover in our presentations is our location. We're located in Raleigh, North Carolina. So the state that's on the East Coast towards the south, above South Carolina, under Virginia. We're in a really great location. So Raleigh is the capital state, or the capital city of our state, and it's a really great location to have our university that really opens up the doors for students for a lot of really great opportunities. Honestly, our location is a really big reason as to why students choose NC State and why they decide to pursue their college career right here in Raleigh, and I'll tell you why. There are so many opportunities for students while they are here, both professionally and personally. So let's talk about those professional reasons. It's important when you're in college to think about graduation and thinking about those job prospects and your future career. And honestly, being here is a really great place to start preparing for those opportunities. In our backyard, we have what's called the Research Triangle Park. And now in this, it's shared by the city of Raleigh, the city of Durham, where Duke University is located, as well as the town of Chapel Hill, where UNC Chapel Hill is located as well. So just kind of within that region, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of businesses and companies, nonprofit organizations, pharmaceutical organizations, research companies, etc., that all open their doors to NC State students to pursue internship opportunities, research opportunities, co-ops, etc. And a lot of the academic departments that are offered at NC State do highly encourage their students to pursue this, if not require their students to pursue this, so that you already have this experience under your belt when it comes time to applying for those jobs once you're getting ready for graduation. So honestly, our students really do graduate career and job ready from NC State. But personally, it's a really great place to be. If you're not super familiar with North Carolina, we're going to zoom out to the state and then we're going to zoom in until we get to campus. So just in the state as a whole, Raleigh's pretty central to the state of North Carolina. And if you drive about 2 or 3 hours to the east side of the state, you'll actually hit the ocean. So we're right along the coast of the United States, and students enjoy taking beach trips and just kind of getting away from campus for a little bit. But also, if you drive about 3 or 4 hours to the west side of the state, you'll actually hit the mountains of North North Carolina. So we really do have the best of both worlds right here in our state, and it's something that our students really do enjoy in case they want to take a trip or just want to go elsewhere outside of Raleigh. And if we zoom into the city itself, so this right here that you see on the screen, this is actually downtown Raleigh. Now, this is not our campus. This is located a couple miles down the road. So it's super accessible for students in case you want to just kind of spend an afternoon here, spend an evening, taking advantage of our local restaurants or local museums, and just immersing yourself in the local culture while you're here. And as you can see, there's a lot of green space that surrounds us. So we are the capital city. There's a lot of these buildings and a lot of these, like this infrastructure, but there's so much green space that we have to offer. And again, something that students really enjoy about just our location as a whole. And if you zoom in even more to campus itself, so one really important thing to know about NC State is that we are the largest university in the state of North Carolina. We have about 36,000 students in total. 24,000 of those are undergraduate students, so students pursuing their bachelor's degree. And the rest of those students are students pursuing their graduate level degree or students even pursuing their associate's level degree. We have what's called the Agricultural Institute, which allows you to graduate with a 2-year degree in an agricultural field. And that way you can start working right away on your family farm, etc. Since agriculture is still a big part of North Carolina's economy. So there are so many opportunities. But with a large campus does come a large number of opportunities, but also comes a large campus itself. So NC State is actually divided up into 3 different parts of campus. And the first part is actually main campus. So this is where students do spend the majority of their time as students, especially as first-year students. We do have a first-year live-on requirement. So our first-year students are required to live on campus in our residence halls during their first year. And I can talk to you all about those residence halls at the end in case you all want to know anything further about those. But this is where also students will be taking their classes in our academic buildings, will be eating in our dining halls, and just living their life as a student, immersing in that student experience. An example of that is right here in the center in Tally Student Union. This is really the central student hub of campus, and this is actually my virtual background in case y'all want to take a look at it from another angle. But this is really a one-stop shop for this student experience and also student resources. So there are 5 different eateries right here, including our Howlin' Cow ice cream, which is ice cream that is made and sold right here on NC State's campus using milk from our dairy cows. Since again, agriculture is a really big part of North Carolina and our university as a whole. But there's just so much that goes on in here, whether it's events that are taking place or just study areas, or you want to meet up with friends, or you want to take advantage of the student resources and the transition centers. We have the Women's Center, the GLBT Center, and Multicultural Student Affairs, among other services that are right here in Tally Student Union, because we truly care about student success, transition academically and socially, and we want to be able to provide those opportunities. So there's a lot that goes on here on main campus, and it is where students do spend the majority of their time. And there's Centennial Campus. Now this is home to our College of Engineering and our Wilson College of Textiles. And a fun fact about the Wilson College of Textiles is that we are the largest, or actually the only established college of textiles in the entire United States, and the #1 ranked in the entire world. So we definitely have that to offer for our students in case you're interested in that field in any way, shape, or form. But if you're taking classes in our engineering fields or our textiles fields, this is where you'll be taking your major specific classes. And if you're worried about the distance, it's only 1 mile away from main campus. So definitely an advantage that we have. But there's plenty of things to do here. And a fun fact that we have is this is actually our research campus. So there are over 70 different businesses and companies that are located right here, as small as our entrepreneurship endeavors or startups and spinoffs created by NC State alumni, and as big as Smithfield Foods and the National Weather Service, Hanes Clothing Company. All of those are located right here to really provide our students with those professional development opportunities without ever having to leave campus. But plenty of other things to do as well, and maybe not on that professional side or academic even. We have a golf course here. So this is our Lonnie Pool Golf Course. It's an Arnold Palmer certified course. And we also have Lake Raleigh right here, where students are able to go fishing, canoeing, kayaking, or just enjoying the trails that surround Lake Raleigh. So that's really cool. And then this final part that I want to point out on this part of campus is Hunt Library. This is a state-of-the-art library that we have on this part of campus. And what's really, really cool is where we keep our books. And these books are actually located in what we call our book bot. This is a literal vault that we have with houses 1.8 million books, and this robotic arm that you see here coming up actually takes the shelf where your book is located and brings it up to the circulation desk, so that it makes that checkout process a lot easier for you so that you can go on your studying endeavors. So a really cool part of campus, a really awesome claim to fame, and just a really technologically oriented thing that we have to serve our scholars here at NC State. And the final part of campus that I want to touch on is our Centennial Biomedical Campus. Now, this is home to our College of Veterinary Medicine, which is actually ranked number 4 in the entire United States. But before I get into the specifics of the College of Veterinary Medicine and the academics that are offered on this part of campus, I want to touch on the location and kind of just what you have around this part of campus. So while you wouldn't be taking classes here just yet as an undergraduate student, just because this is primarily for our doctoral students pursuing that doctorate degree in veterinary medicine, you'll inevitably find yourself here at some point in time, just because it's right next to our Carter Finley Stadium, which is where our men's football team plays, and it's also right by our PNC Arena, which is where our men's basketball team plays. And it's also shared by the city of Raleigh, and it's where our Carolina Hurricanes hockey team plays, which is really cool. We are Division I when it comes to sports, so you'll inevitably find yourself taking part in that school spirit. But going back to the Centennial Biomedical Campus, our College of Veterinary Medicine is located here, and if you're interested in that veterinary field at all, this is definitely a place where you want to kind of get that experience, whether it's volunteering in our working animal farm, pursuing an internship in our emergency animal hospital, or even just doing research within the College of Veterinary Medicine as a whole as well. For example, we have an intern who is with our Office of Undergraduate Admissions, whose goal is to go to medical school. He's doing research right here at our College of Veterinary Medicine, and he's actually taking advantage of what we call our pre-professional advising programs. These advising programs provide your professional tracks, so pre-med or pre-law, pre-vet, etc. So you'll be matched up with an academic advisor who will be guiding that way through that field and making sure that you're taking the right courses and you're finding opportunities to enhance your professional development, and ultimately helping you with that application process as a whole, because it can be pretty daunting. But we want you to be successful if your academic endeavors do continue after graduating from NC State. And so we have a saying here on campus, y'all. We want students to think and do the extraordinary. And one way that we encourage our students to do this is through undergraduate research. We're a Tier 1 research institution in the United States and one of the 2 public ones in the state of North Carolina, which means that all of our faculty members, or your professors, will be involved in research in their field of expertise. And you, as a student, can get involved in research as early as your first year, whether it's with your professors or on your own through your classes or through a separate research project that you decide to start up. And you can present these at conferences, whether it's at NC State or other national conferences that your academic department can send you to. You can start up your own entrepreneurship endeavors. Y'all, the possibilities are endless on what you can do with just the knowledge that you are finding out and you have for your own. And I want to touch on our study abroad opportunities. So we actually have over 200 study abroad programs at NC State in case you want to take your endeavors outside of NC State's campus. We have partnerships with over 80 different countries in the world. So there's a lot of different ways that you're able to find the best study abroad program for you that fits both your personal and academic interests. We have a lot of our academic departments actually host their own study abroad programs. So you can pursue an engineering study abroad program, or a study abroad program rooted in agriculture, or a foreign language, or even within our College of Natural Resources. Or if you want to just take a map, kind of just go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you can definitely find a program where your finger lands, and our study abroad advisors could help you kind of figure that out in regards to your academics. Or if you just want to go based on the length of time you want to be gone, we have programs ranging from an entire academic year to a semester, which is pretty traditional, or even between semesters. You can go for a summer or for spring or winter break, and these usually consist of a service project. One thing that I want to point out is this picture right here. These students are at our NC State European Center, which is an extension of NC State's campus, but in Prague, Czech Republic. So that's super cool and a really unique program that we have to offer for our students, and one of the only ones that is open to students starting their first year of college. And if you want to get involved on campus, there are plenty of opportunities for you to find your avenues and to really find your community on campus. As I mentioned, we're a pretty big university, so getting involved is crucial, and it's really important to be able to find your home and find your niche on campus. We have over 700 student organizations that we have to offer, and these range from academic organizations to service organizations like Habitat for Humanity, cultural organizations, fraternity and sorority life. We have sports, the arts, etc. Whatever you would like to get yourself involved in, whether it's to find people who are interested in the same sorts of things as you, or to really build your professional development while you're here and obtain a leadership position within these organizations. Or if you just want to expand on your passions and go to a ballroom dancing club, like anything that y'all want to do, we probably have it here at NC State, because we want you to really express yourself and explore the different things that we have to offer. Because y'all, classes are definitely really important while you're in college, but what you're doing outside of the classroom is just as important. And this is just one way that you can get involved. And if you're wondering, how am I going to find all of these organizations? We got you covered. And this is through Wolfpack Welcome Week. We have a week full of events and full of programming for our students to really get acclimated to the resources and the opportunities that are offered here at NC State. So the biggest event during this week is probably our Packapalooza event. Now this is now literally a street festival that's hosted by NC State, in which a lot of these organizations, but also local businesses, just come out and celebrate that first week of class with their incoming students. And it ends with a concert. Even our chancellor comes out and plays the guitar. Like, it's super cool and it's super fun. And there are performances, there's free t-shirts, there's free food. Y'all, as a college student, you will quickly learn to appreciate the value of any free food that y'all are able to get on the college campus. So this is really a really great opportunity to do so. So whatever your reasoning may be, we would like for you to just enjoy the welcoming event that we have here, and for you to really get to know the environment that we have to offer at NC State once you start your classes. But speaking of classes, your academics are really important, so let's talk about them. So here at NC State, we are a STEM-based institution. So we're mainly known for our science, technology, engineering, and math programs. But that's not all we offer. This is actually a snapshot of our top majors that are currently enrolled first-year students are pursuing. You can see that engineering is a big one. We have 18 majors within our College of Engineering, and we're the #1 school in North Carolina for our engineering programs. So a really important thing to know about NC State is that when you're applying to our institution, you're actually applying directly into your major. So you'll be asked on your application to provide your first choice and your second choice major, and you'll actually apply directly into these programs. So we'll admit you and you'll start right away. But if you're not really sure about what it is that you want to study, that is okay. And we have what's called our Exploratory Studies program. And this is a truly undecided program for students in which you take your first year and take classes in a variety of different academic offerings so that you know everything that we have to offer. And then you can make your specific decision on your major at the end of your first year. And that way you can get started on that program as soon as you start your second year. So a really great option to consider in case you do feel like you can benefit from that additional time. But as you can see, we have a really large range of programs that our students are interested in, and y'all, this is just 10 of over 100 that we have to offer. So I definitely encourage you to explore our different academic offerings. And I want to talk to y'all about how you can submit an application to NC State. The first step is to complete your online application through the Common App or Coalition application. These are two online platforms that we have with the same application. We don't have a preference. We leave that up to you. The next step is to submit an $85 application fee to be submitted at the time of submitting your application. We do accept fee waivers all year round, so if you feel like you qualify one or can benefit from one, definitely speak with your high school counselor to see how you can go about submitting one to our office. We do require an official high school transcript so that we can see the classes that you're taking and the grades that you're making. And finally, for students who are applying for the spring of 2021 or the fall of 2021, your ACT or SAT scores are optional. You can decide whether or not you would like to submit those to our office. If you do not submit those test scores, you will not be disadvantaged. But if you do want to submit those test scores, you can self-report them on your application. That is it. That is all we need for your application. Just one note that letters of recommendation are actually not required. You don't have to submit one for your application, but if you do, we're happy to read them. We have two application deadlines for our application. So early action is when you apply by November 1st. You'll be notified of your admissions decision on January 30th. And this is our final deadline for our studio-based majors, and that includes graphic design, industrial design, fashion and textile design, art and design, and architecture. Our next deadline is regular decision. If you apply by January 15th, you'll be notified of your admissions decision on March 30th. And just keeping in mind that neither of these deadlines are binding. Once you receive that acceptance, you have until May 1st to confirm your enrollment at NC State. Now I want to touch on how applications are reviewed once we do receive yours. So there's a lot of different factors that we look at, and I'm just going to touch on each of them. First and foremost is your academic achievement, so how you're doing in high school. Our strongest applicants are making A's and B's in their classes with mostly A's, and taking advantage of the rigorous courses that your high school has to offer. And this can include honors classes, your AP classes, dual enrollment courses through your local community college or your local university. Anything that provides that extra level of rigor, whatever that may look like for your high school, is definitely beneficial for your application. Your highest ACT or SAT composite score, again, that is optional for students who are applying for either the spring or fall of 2021. So for my current seniors out there, you will not be disadvantaged in any way if you decide not to submit those as part of your application. But if you do want to submit those, you can self-report them. We do super score, and we will take your highest composite score. So just keeping that in mind when you're submitting or thinking about submitting your application. Your interest in the academic program that you're applying for, since you are applying directly into your major, we just want to see that you're interested in this program. And this can look a number of different ways through the classes that you're taking, the activities that you're involved in, or just what you tell us in your own words through the short answer question that we have that asks you directly about your interest. Your accomplishments and involvements outside of the classroom. So y'all, whatever you're doing when you're not in school, this can include any clubs that you're in, any sport that you play, any jobs that you have, volunteer opportunities that you're pursuing, household responsibilities that you tend to, siblings that you babysit, y'all, literally anything. So don't be shy on this part of the application. If it's important to you, if it takes up your time, it's important to us. Your application will be considered with your background and opportunities in mind. And so what this means is that we understand that not all high schools are the same, and that they don't all offer the same classes or the same resources, the same opportunities, etc. We do keep this in mind during our application review. So we review your application within the context of what your high school has to offer to you. And finally, your individual story is very important. This is in the form of the required essays that we have on your application. This is just so that we can get to know you and your individual story outside of an academic context and outside of what you're doing in school. We just want to get to know you as a person. I do want to touch on the importance of applying early action. So again, that was that November 1st deadline. A reason that we do encourage for students to apply, if you're able to, under that early action deadline, is because you will receive priority consideration for our institutional scholarships. We are within a top 10 national best value institutions. So what that means is that you will receive the best bang for your buck. The money that you are investing in your education, you will definitely see that kind of returned within the education that you're provided, the opportunities that are available to you, etc. But we understand the importance of being able to responsibly fund your education. So let's talk scholarships. The PACAssist. This is actually an application that you will fill out based on your information. You'll create your profile and we'll ask you a bunch of questions. This is where our merit-based scholarships are housed, our major-based scholarships, our activity-based scholarships, and just a lot of those more specific scholarships. This is actually something that you will fill out as soon as you are admitted to NC State, which is why it's super important to apply early action, because you will receive your admissions decision earlier. The Park Scholarship. The Goodnight is for North Carolina residents, so I'll just jump over that for now. The Park Scholarship is actually a fully funded scholarship program for students, which does include leadership components as well. This is open to all students in the United States of all majors, and students are nominated based on scholarship, leadership, service, and character. You can either be nominated by your high school or you can self-nominate yourself in order to be considered for the scholarship. But y'all, the most important thing to keep in mind is that you must apply early action in order to be considered for the most scholarships that you can. But I'll also say that other perks of applying early action is that you will also not only be considered for more scholarships, but if you're interested in our honors or our scholars program, this is the deadline to apply by as well. If you're interested in receiving priority consideration for housing, definitely apply early action. And if you're just interested in getting to know your decision a lot earlier, this is also a really great perk as well. So y'all, bottom line is that I definitely encourage y'all to apply by November 1st. That is all the information that I have for you at this time for this presentation. I just encourage y'all to connect with us whenever you can. If you have any additional questions beyond this presentation and beyond this 45-minute time slot that we have, this is how you can connect with us. We're on all of these social media platforms, and actually, y'all, these are all run by current students. So this is how you can really be immersed in the student perspective that NC State has to offer and what our students' life is like. Facebook, you know, if y'all still have Facebook, that's also a really great way to connect with us. We have a virtual tour right here in case, you know, you can't physically go see our campus. You can actually immerse yourself in that virtual tour and you can actually visit us and see campus for yourself within a virtual platform from the comfort of your home. And then we have college-specific information in case you know exactly what it is that you want to major in and you just want to learn more information about that specific program. I encourage you to connect with their academic departments, and that way they can explain to you the different benefits and the different things that they have to offer for students. But y'all, that is actually all the information that I have for y'all. And at this time, I encourage any questions that y'all have for me, and I encourage y'all to look or to use that Q&A feature so that I can get any questions answered for y'all. And I see that we already have some rolling in, so thank you so much for that. So I'm going to start actually answering some questions that we have here, and y'all feel free to answer or ask any questions that y'all have that I can answer. So are early action decisions binding? This is a really good question. Actually, neither of our application deadlines are binding. So if you apply by early action and you are admitted under this application cycle, you are not obligated to attend NC State. We want you to have the freedom to consider your options and consider everything for all the schools that you were admitted to. So while we would love for you to attend NC State, you are absolutely not obligated to do so, and it is not a binding application deadline for you. So thank you for your question. That was a great one. Do we have a major in neuroscience? So what we do have is our biological sciences program. This is a major that we have that's similar to human biology, but within biological sciences, we actually have a concentration in neurobiology. So that way you can still kind of get those aspects of neuroscience and kind of still get that broad understanding of what biological sciences has to offer. And I'll actually talk a little bit about biological sciences and kind of the difference between that and biology. So biological sciences is a program that we have that actually offers you snippets and kind of different classes within all of the sciences. So while your focus will be in that biology aspect, you'll still be asked to take chemistry courses and physics courses so that you can get a holistic understanding of the different sciences that exist and that we have to offer. But within this program, you are absolutely welcome to major or kind of do a concentration in that neurobiology program in case you are interested in neuroscience. And what's super cool is that you can pair it with our psychology major. And that way you can kind of get the best of both worlds of like the actual scientific of looking inside like neurons and atoms and in a brain, but then understanding the theory behind that and kind of how brains work from that perspective as well. So definitely a really great thing that we have to offer. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen so that way I can focus on the questions that are being asked and provide y'all with any helpful links if I can be able to provide them as part of my responses. So are credits accepted from AP tests? And the answer is yes. So we do award credits for any AP exam that students have where the score is a 3 or above. And so I encourage y'all to visit our website, and that is admissions.ncsu.edu to see exactly the course credit that you will receive with those 3 or 4 or 5 scores on your AP test. But rest assured, you are guaranteed to receive credit for anything or any exam 3 or above. So that's a really good question. And if you're getting ready to take those AP tests or you've already taken them, that is phenomenal. I'm loving these questions, y'all. Thank y'all so much. And I encourage y'all to keep asking those questions because I love talking about NC State and what we have to offer. Oh, awesome. All right. So what is out-of-state tuition, including room and board? So let me actually go ahead and show y'all. And that way I can share my screen and y'all can see exactly the breakdown of those tuition and fees, especially as a first-year student. So bear with me with the awkward transition again of sharing my screen, but I do feel like it's important to show y'all exactly the breakdown of that tuition. So if y'all see here on the screen, this is what, especially your first year living on or off campus. Oh, so that is the breakdown of this current year, but tuition should relatively stay the same for the next year. So this is what it is for out-of-state students or out-of-state residents. Tuition and fees itself, $29,000. And then this is kind of a relative breakdown of everything else. So books and supplies, these definitely range by your major. So depending on the classes or the books that are needed for your individual classes, your labs, etc. So this is a kind of a varying number. Housing costs depend on the kind of residence hall that you're staying in. We have 3 different styles of residence hall: suite, hall, and hotel. Hotel is a little bit more fancy, but just by the sounds of it, and those do tend to be a little bit more expensive than hall and suite style. So again, that's a fluctuating number depending on where you're living. Meal plans, this is also kind of an average number that we see. So you do have the freedom of choosing the different meal plan that you would like to take. It is required your first year to have a meal plan, but you have different freedoms in kind of choosing the best one for you. So if you want to just do a standard 3 meals a day, or you can do an unlimited meal plan. Those costs do vary, but this is just a kind of average breakdown that you can expect. Personal expenses, of course, vary from person to person. So again, this is just kind of an estimate of what you can expect. Transportation costs, this is what kind of helps run our bus system. We have a really great bus system that takes you anywhere around campus, but also anywhere around the city of Raleigh. This is where those costs come in, because at the time of needing that bus, it is free of cost for students, but that is kind of something that you will pay within your tuition. And finally, loan fees. This is only applicable if you take out a loan as part of your financial aid package. So altogether, it comes out to be approximately $44,880. But again, it does fluctuate depending on your housing, depending on your meal plan, personal expenses, etc. What does tend to stay the same is that tuition and fees number. It's a great question. Thank you. Do we offer merit scholarships? The answer is absolutely yes. This is where, again, I'd like to highlight the importance of applying early action, because that Packapalooza portal that I talked to y'all about a few slides ago, that is where our merit-based scholarships are housed. So you can absolutely be rewarded with a scholarship for your good grades. For students, so for my current seniors, so for students who are getting ready to apply to college, your SAT or ACT scores are also optional for scholarships this year, as they are with the general NC State application. But we do have merit-based scholarships that we have to offer for our students, and you will be considered for most of those if you do apply under the early action deadline. Awesome questions, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Let's keep them coming. We do have about 10 more minutes, so I am more than happy to answer any additional questions that y'all have about NC State. Do y'all have any questions about like our residence halls? We have a virtual tour of our residence halls that I'd be more than happy to show y'all, or about student life and what we have to offer. I'd be more than happy to walk through any of this. Just make sure to drop that in the Q&A feature so that I know what to talk about and I know what to focus on, and I know whether or not to pull out that virtual tour in case y'all do want to see it. All right, so what is the maximum amount of merit scholarships that you can receive? So while I'm not an expert in that financial aid field, unfortunately, what I can talk about is just our average aid package. So I would say that about 90% of students who or I would say actually before I get into that, our average aid package is about $14,500 for students. So the main way that you're able to receive that financial aid is, of course, filling out your FAFSA, but also filling out that PAC Assist application. So again, those are where all of those merit-based scholarships are housed. So you're able to qualify for a lot of those scholarships. So I don't believe that we have a cap as to the amount of merit-based scholarships that you can receive, but I do know that when you are applying to those merit-based scholarships, oftentimes they ask for some additional information. So they'll ask you for an additional essay or two, or it's just any kind of additional questions. So of course you'll create your profile under PAC Assist, and that way you'll be able to put down your test scores, you'll be able to put down your GPA and just specific information about your classes and about your academics and your academic performance throughout your high school time. And that way our Office of Scholarships and Financial Aid can actually narrow that down and kind of see if you're eligible for those scholarships based on the information that you have provided, and that's where they'll ask you for some additional information. So while a lot of these are kind of merit, or not merit, but like general based scholarships that are based off of merit, there's also some that are specific to your major. So you can, depending on the major that you're applying for, you can receive more or less a kind of more scholarship opportunities. What I can tell y'all, and kind of a secret, not a secret, but kind of a secret that we have at NC State, is that our Wilson College of Textiles is actually the college that awards the largest number of scholarships to our students. So they definitely have the money to be able to provide y'all with these scholarships. If you're interested in the sciences, this is definitely something that I encourage y'all to look into. So for example, our polymer and color chemistry major, while it deals a lot with like the specifics of dyes and fabrics, etc., it is an applied chemistry major. And that way you're able to gain a lot of really specific knowledge and a kind of a cool perspective that can prepare you for medical school, pharmaceutical school, veterinary medicine, etc. So they have a large number of scholarships that they have to offer for students as well. So I know that was kind of a long-winded answer, but the bottom line is I don't believe that they have a cap for the amount of merit-based scholarships that you can receive. It depends on the major and depends on, I believe, your year as well. And kind of if you're applying as first year, once you're in your second year, etc. Great question. Do y'all have any more questions that I can answer for y'all this evening? Is there any additional, actually, what major should I focus on if I want to go into veterinary science? This is a great question, and one that we do get a lot because of our College of Veterinary Medicine. So what I can tell you, and kind of going off of the broad answer and then going into specifics, so bear with me. The broad answer is you can major in anything. So any of our majors can provide you with that pathway. We have, I kind of touch on the pre-professional advising programs on the presentation, and the one specifically for veterinary medicine is called VetPack. Kind of exactly what it sounds like. We're the wolf pack, so we use PAC a lot, but VetPack. So this is a program that you'll enroll in that provides you with an academic advisor who will be guiding you through the process of taking the classes that you need, finding the experience, because if you're wanting to apply to our College of Veterinary Medicine, you do need about 200 or so service hours, although these can start as early as high school. So they'll help you kind of locate all of these opportunities. So the long answer, the broad answer, you can major in anything as long as you're taking the prerequisite classes that you need. But the more specific answer is that we do have some majors that are more conducive to getting that experience and getting those hours right within your academic program. An example of this is our animal science major. This is within our College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, and this actually has a concentration in what's called veterinary bioscience, and this provides you with every single prerequisite course that you need in order to apply to our College of Veterinary Medicine, including the one that's a little more difficult to find, which is animal nutrition. So it provides you with all of these opportunities and all of these classes, but it also provides you with hands-on experience. NC State actually has a lot of farms that are associated with our university, and you'll take trips over there and kind of immerse within projects in your classes and getting this hands-on experience. So that's a really cool option. Also, we have fisheries, wildlife, and conservation biology. This is actually within our College of Natural Resources. It actually allows you to focus more on like the forest side of things and like just wildlife in general. We have a forest that's associated with NC State, so it's kind of getting cool experience there. That actually covers all your prereqs as well. But we also have a zoology program in which you can kind of get into the nitty gritty of those like kind of the specifics of animals and their like anatomy and the physiology side of things. So also an option as well. So broadly, you can major in anything, but more specifically, there are some majors that are more conducive to that field. Great question. Does zoology cover the credits to apply to the veterinary school? Short answer is no. They cover most of them, but you might have to take some other courses as electives. But rest assured, you will have the opportunity to take them, and it's important to work with an academic advisor. And that's where that VetPack program comes in really greatly, because they will kind of help you plan out those courses within your degree so that you can take them without having to take like extra classes or extend your graduation time. They'll be built right into your degree plan so that you can take them as extra electives. So there's only a couple extra classes that you'll need to focus on, but we'll definitely steer you in the right direction. I love this, y'all. We have about 4 more minutes to answer any questions that y'all have. I would say about 3, but definitely enough time to get about 1 or 2 questions in if y'all have them. If you're interested in learning more about NC State, we do have a lot of different kind of continuous seminars and workshops that we have to offer for students and families, in which you can learn about more specific information about what we have to offer. Today, I gave you all a really broad overview of what we have to offer in regards to student life, but there's so much more that we can dive into. We host sessions that are specific to different majors. You can learn more about the dining services. You can learn more about the libraries. We actually have our university open house coming up, and that is hosted. It's a 5-day program starting October 17th, and registration actually opens tomorrow. So if you're interested in learning more, I definitely encourage y'all to attend our university open house if you are able, but there's plenty of opportunities for you to learn more information about NC State through the different programming that is held on a daily basis. We also have our virtual tour, in which I encourage y'all to connect with us and be able to see campus and see if you can see yourself there, especially thinking about that college search and finding your best match and your best fit. So if y'all don't have any more questions that I can answer for y'all, I do believe that StriveScan does have some additional announcements before we close out our session. So thank y'all so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Okay, thank you everybody for joining us. I just wanted to run through a couple of different things. When you close this window, there will be a quick survey for you to do for us. It's just 4 questions. I promise it's quick. Since this is our first time doing a program like this, please let us know your feedback. Again, we are running sessions for the next 5 weeks. So if you're interested in signing up for more information about different colleges or panel presentations, please visit IACAC.org. Lastly, recordings are available in about a week. So if you would like to get more information or again, maybe share this presentation with someone else, you can also visit that same website, IACAC.org. So again, thank you so much to everybody for coming in this evening, and have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.